Hola, ¿cómo están? Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a todos. Teníamos aquí un pequeño problema de horarios. Según estaba programado a las 5 en punto y aquí nos marcó que ya eran 2 minutos y parece que faltaban 5 minutos, pero bueno, ya estamos en vivo. Buenas tardes a todos. Martín, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes para vos, buenos días acá. Muy bien, un hermoso día, especialmente tempranito para empezar a hablar de trenes.
Sí, y algo muy interesante, el día de hoy vamos a empezar a ver una de las grandes tiendas, una de las, pues yo creo que de las pioneras. Vamos a ver muchos aspectos, su historia, dónde están y dudas que mucha gente después de, incluso en muchos videos, nos preguntan, no sé si a ti te toque, Martín, que luego la gente te pregunta: "Oye, ¿dónde compraste y cómo lo compro? Y ¿es seguro?". Las típicas preguntas que la gente empieza a hacer. No sé si te ha tocado tú en
Sí,
tu canal.
sí, sí, por supuesto, es como, obviamente, necesitamos comprar material, necesitamos comprar cosas para el hobby y es difícil hoy en día, que es un mundo que todo es por websites y muy poco con casas de hobbies reales, como lo llamo yo, o de brick and
Sí.
mortar, como lo llaman ellos. Tener Trainworld que realmente manda a todo el mundo, a todo el planeta, es buenísimo. Y aparte, que puedas confiar y que puedas llamar y que te atiendan y que te traten bien es muy importante, ¿no?
Sí, y ahí tenemos muchas dudas que vamos a preguntar poco a poco. Una de ellas es el pago en efectivo, porque mucha gente que yo no lo pensé, pero mucha gente en México, no sé si en Latinoamérica, no tiene tarjetas de crédito
Mira
por
vos.
por uso, por miedo, por fraudes, experiencias, pero bueno, eso es algo que hay que cambiar y vamos a ver, a platicar ahorita con Ken qué opción nos da. Y antes de empezar con él, un poquito una semblanza, posiblemente muchos de ustedes ya han visto en YouTube, en las redes sociales, la historia de Trainworld, quiénes son, pero antes de, pues, darle la bienvenida, pues, es una pequeña semblanza de lo que estuvimos viendo. Entonces, creo que es la única tienda familiar que existe, no conozco otra, es tercera generación. Empezaron
Sí,
en los 68, 70, más o menos, en el basement, se me fue, perdón, en el sótano del
sí,
abuelo, ¿verdad? Es donde empezaron. Y un poco se aventaron, y el día de hoy, pues, yo creo que es una de las empresas claves a nivel mundial, muy reconocida, y algo que luego le voy a preguntar, también tengo mucha duda, un inventario impresionante.
sí, sí, sí. Y ellos, especialmente Ken, que va a estar con nosotros, hizo una serie de videos muy buenos de cómo es el día a día en Train World. Lo único, obviamente, videos en inglés, y esa es la
Sí.
razón que vamos a aprovechar esta oportunidad, que nos cuente de esa experiencia y que nos diga cómo fue todo, así podemos pasarlo al español para la gente que nos está mirando en este momento.
Así es, y los que nos puedan ver en vivo, se lo agradecemos, como siempre, a todos, un saludo. Y a los que no, pueden dejar sus preguntas aquí. Tenemos ya algunas que nos han hecho en los canales, que son un poco las básicas y que vemos que se repiten en cuanto a la duda de compra. Al rato las vamos a platicar con Ken, pero creo que esto es una excelente forma de todos los miedos. Y incluso, pues bueno, muchas generaciones todavía no quieren usar el Internet, o aunque ya tengas Internet, o eso, el uso de tarjeta de crédito. Por ahí hace rato platicamos con Ken de las medidas de seguridad. Por ahí hay algo de que tienen que cuadrar las direcciones y todo eso lo platicamos, pero qué mejor que él nos lo diga, ¿no? Porque muchas
Sí, sí.
veces es: "Oye, es que me bloqueó, es que mi pedido no lo hizo". Todas esas dudas. Entonces, bueno, creo que hoy va a ser muy, muy interesante y vamos a pasar también las preguntas que salgan, pues bueno, creo que las vamos a compartir con todos. ¿Algo más que quisieras tú agregar, Martín, antes de darle la bienvenida a Ken?
No, no, me gustaría también, mi parte, mi curiosidad pasa por la logística también, o sea, el correo, como los envíos, toda esa historia, ¿no? Es una buena oportunidad para saber la trastienda de un negocio tan importante, cómo se manejan y obviamente los servicios que nos brindan. Así que no, no, creo que no tengo nada más. Me gustaría ya empezar, así
Sí,
empezamos
perfecto.
a evacuar las dudas.
Vamos a darle la bienvenida a Ken. Y, estimados, como siempre, pues, nada más para recordarles, pues, como esto es en vivo, y acuérdense, el show de 2 personas, vamos a de repente hablar inglés, tratar de traducir lo mejor posible, casi simultáneamente, y sus comentarios, preguntas, como siempre, bienvenidos. Como siempre, la idea de todo esto es que todas las personas que por alguna razón no puedan, ver los videos en inglés, pues bueno, tratar de traducir y llevarlos para todos. Entonces,
Sí,
sin más. Sí, sí.
Sí. Y última aclaración, sí, como dijiste, esto es en vivo, acá no hay nada preparado, las preguntas son instantáneas, lo que nos ponen ustedes en el chat es lo que también preguntamos, así que aprovechen la oportunidad porque sí, estén abiertos y podemos poner sus preguntas también.
A ver, entonces, vamos por allá. Ken, buenas tardes, bienvenido.
Gracias por tenerme.
Perfecto, ya
Hola.
con eso te ganaste a todos. Muchas gracias. Thanks for your that
I
phrase is
tried.
very important. That you tried. Es muy importante. Muchas gracias.
Hello, Ken, how are you?
Hello. Thank you very much, both of you, for having me. I appreciate it. It's
Thank
an
you
honor.
for your time and the opportunity. Really is a very nice opportunity for us to have you in the show. And first start the first question. Where are you at the moment? Where's your location?
So we have two locations. Our first location is in Brooklyn, New York, and that's pretty much where we do the mail order facility. We own probably like half a city block, an entire city block, and
Wow.
it's just filled with trains. So that's our first location,
Can
and
we
we also
visit? Is that open to public?
well, so for Corona, it is closed right
Okay.
now, but it was open for retail before COVID. The warehouse, we didn't really let people go into the back. It, you would just get lost. But we did have a retail before COVID. We do have our retail flagship, Trainland, and that's in Long Island, New York, and that's where I'm located now, and that's open for COVID right now. We, of course, we had to do a lot of adjustments for COVID. Um, I, uh, um, I guess protection screens, thermometer scanner for temperature checks, mask, and sanitizing stations. So our retail store has changed according to the COVID guidelines, and we're trying to be a little more accommodating for the circumstances at hand.
That's right. Let me
Thank you.
translate that. Le preguntó Martín que primero dónde se encuentra y bueno, voy a tratar cambiar un poquito el orden, pero a final de cuentas es algo importante. Ellos tienen dos lugares. Por un lado tienen Trainland, que es la tienda física donde reciben a la gente y tú puedes ir y comprar. Lo que decía Martín es la tienda de verdad. Ahí, y por otro lado, la parte de Trainworld, que está diciendo que tiene casi como una manzana, ¿no? Ahí en la
Sí,
parte
correcto.
de almacenes, que obviamente por las restricciones de COVID, o sea, no hay entrada, que normalmente es como el retail, la tienda de retail, pero ahorita, bueno, tuvieron que hacer algunos cambios, distanciamiento, todas las medidas que se conocen a nivel mundial, pero realmente él ahorita donde está transmitiendo es en Long Island, en lo que le llamamos Trainland. Entonces, bueno, esto es importante porque mucha gente pensaba Train World, Trainland, si son diferentes, ¿dónde están? Entonces, Trainland es la tienda,
Sí,
ahí física, ahí tú vas y compras y a la antigüita, como a mucha gente le va. Y Train World, pues es en el web, en internet, donde tienes todo lo demás. ¿Sí?
correcto, correcto.
Okay, Ken, in the introduction, we talk about that this is a family business. You are the third generation.
Yep.
And could you share how do you involve? Well, I believe that obviously from your father, but at some point, you need to decide. Okay, I'm gonna follow the family business, or I will do my own business or something different.
Right.
Martín, let me translate. Can you puedes traducir, Martín? Nada más la pregunta.
Sí, sí, correcto. O sea, Eduardo quiere saber cómo fue la decisión de Ken para seguir la tradición familiar. Trainworld, Trainlines es un negocio de familia de generaciones y bueno, ¿dónde fue el momento clave de Ken para empezar con el negocio o continuar con el negocio, mejor dicho?
Yeah, okay, Ken.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so basically, when I was growing up, I was very involved with the business aspect, and even though my father encouraged me to do whatever I wanted, go in any directions you want, and if anything, you could always fall back. Uh, but I was always at train shows, at the store for the holidays, working. So um, working and the passion began at a very early age, and the same as with my other cousin Anthony, who's my right hand and partner with me. And so we've started at a young age. It began with my grandfather, and we actually went to train shows with my grandfather.
Okay.
And those were the best times and memories that we actually had of my grandfather, because as you know, any business, you have to work very hard, long hours. And so working us with my grandfather was how we got to spend time with him, as well as, you know, my father. So each generation kind of brought something new to the table. And so with my grandfather, he started out with the retail store selling. With my father and Uncle Tony, they ran the mail order operations, where it was started by phone calls. And that was the beginning of the computer era, where they would people would dial up, call internationally as well, and we would ship from the very early ages of mail order, and that really got our solidified where we would ship all over the world. And as the newer generation, myself and my cousin Anthony came along, we kind of brought on the mail order internet side. And I I always was trying different things. I was actually in finance before I came over to Trainworld, and it wasn't for me. I just my passion, my heart wasn't in it. I also went through the financial collapse, so it was a interesting timing. But I did well, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do. So when I did started working for Train World, we it was only supposed to be temporary, and I told my father I wanted to try a couple of things, and we had a couple of things that we haven't sold in the retail store for a while. And I said, why don't we put that on the internet? And I would try one thing, and it sold. And then the other. And these were things in the retail store not a lot of people would come in for the store, but it just kept on snowballing from there, and it was amazing.
That's great. Just give me a minute to translate because
Sure.
that's very interesting. Me ayudas ahí, Martín. Obviamente habló de la relevancia de su abuelo, que desde chico él asistía mucho a train shows, que es algo que, pues bueno, la gente que ha estado en Estados Unidos tiene esa oportunidad, asistir a train shows, el compartir ese tiempo con su abuelo, creo que fue algo que dice que realmente lo marcó. También al final nos estaba comentando que él estuvo en finanzas, debe tener alguna experiencia, que también sufrió en la parte de la caída financiera, pero dice que no era lo suyo, que realmente entró a esto por la pasión, por algo que le gustaba, y es algo trillado. Todo el mundo dice, sigue tu pasión y te va a ir bien, pero este sí es un caso, o sea, es uno de los pocos negocios que le va bien y está haciendo su pasión. Bueno, habló obviamente un poco más de la relación con su primo, las nuevas generaciones y de cómo empezaron a tomar órdenes, ¿no? Y cómo evolucionó todo esto. Digo, platico un poco más, pero es lo básico. No sé si algo más me fue importante, Martín.
No, que obviamente destacó que esa oportunidad de ir a los train shows con el abuelo lo marcó. Creo que es como decir, le voy a preguntar ahora, o sea, es el sueño de todo chico. O sea, te imaginaste, vas y entras a un train store y todo tuyo. O sea, debe ser alucinante. Debe ser alucinante. Así que le voy a preguntar esa experiencia.
Sí, oye, antes que le preguntes, nada más, por ahí nos preguntaron, la tienda física es Long Island en Nueva York, ¿verdad?
Sí, Long Island for the Trainland, y en Brooklyn, donde está el store, donde hacen todo el shipping, pero el warehouse de ellos.
Sí, perfecto. No, Long Island es donde tú puedes ir y entrar.
Exacto.
Nueva York. Adelante, tú pregúntale, y yo también tengo otra pregunta ahí de la parte de finanzas que me quedó ahí. A ver.
Bien, bueno, por supuesto. Ken, the question, like I say, I think as a kid, I can imagine that opportunity to go into a store and play with trains. It's like a dream. So, obviously, you say your memory with your grandfather, but tell me, please, or tell us about the feelings. Like I say, you can go there. I don't know. I can imagine you can open any train, run it, test it. Tell us about that experience, please.
So I'm not sure our coworkers appreciated me at a young age. Because when you're young, you want to play with everything. So,
Yeah,
a lot of them had fun with me, and they would take out, set up the trains, LGB trains, and let me push the trains along the track, or even with the boxes, just
yeah,
cardboard boxes and shipping boxes, and so it was a lot of new experiences, and Thomas the Tank was
no,
huge. So I was able to have a play table, so I was very fortunate and lucky to be involved. But uh, I think what's special about trains is not only the physical trains and the interaction. It's also about the family and
sí,
bringing in the grandparents, the father, the grandkids, the kids all together. And for us, trains brought our family together. So that was very important to me, and I always appreciate that. And I saw other families, when people came into the store, that same passion was there. Um, uh,
yeah, yeah, no,
Let me interrupt. We
yeah,
need to steal the phrase. Ken is about family
exactly.
because be- because in every show,
Yes,
our guest says something really relevant and that
yeah,
they stay with us. And I believe that you just said the word train is from family. Let me
right.
yeah,
translate and then we translate.
Sure.
Le interrumpí porque le estaba comentando a Ken y a Martín que cada persona que ha estado con nosotros da alguna frase importante y creo que Ken dio lo que creo va a ser la doy.
sí,
El tren es de familia, o sea, que acercó a la familia. Entonces
sí,
creo
sí, sí,
que en estos tiempos se me hace una muy buena frase para todos los que tenemos hijos y estamos compartiendo o como hijos compartimos con nuestros padres. Creo que eso puede ser muy, muy bueno. Entonces,
sí,
si quieres traducir la otra parte, Martín,
sí, la
y
traducción, obviamente la pregunta era las sensaciones como chico
sí,
de entrar a un store. O sea, simplemente
Mhm.
maravilloso. Dice que los empleados mucho no les gustaba, porque obviamente, imagino un chico suelto en una juguetería, pero lo que decía es que no simplemente era jugar con los trenes físicamente, sino las cajas, los envases, ir a jugar con las cajas de envío. O sea, imagínense un chico en una juguetería todos los días y bueno, ya saben, pero se nota que Ken lo disfrutó.
así es. Eh, Ken, well, you mentioned that you work in finance and you don't like it, and then you go to the family business. And I have these questions. I saw a video from Ken Patterson that he explained that he, I believe, just finished college and then go to real estate and then direct to the trains. He never had a proper education, if you like to say that,
Right.
and he's, I believe, is the best
Sure.
in what he do can. So, but I see some change in train world, in the media, in the mail, in the service, and I believe that you are not like Ken, that you don't have only the feeling about sales, that you have a education. You just said finance. Is the new generation about this, about the change, about the technology? So what is the third generation focus in technology, or what is the focus? And Martin, please could you translate? Porque se me olvidó
Sí,
decirlo.
sí, Eduardo le está preguntando a Ken que obviamente destacó el ejemplo de Ken Patterson que viene de digamos, de una historia de solamente de vender propiedades a ponerse a un negocio de trenes sin casi educación. Y Ken es lo contrario, él estudió, se preparó en finanzas especialmente. Y la pregunta es, obviamente, ¿cuál es el futuro, digamos, de los negocios? O sea, tienes que estar preparado, tenés que seguir para adelante, tener no simplemente la pasión.
Yeah, so there's two prongs to this. My cousin Anthony, who is my partner, who's as young as myself and my cousin, and so we're both kind of spearheading the business and kind of bringing it into a new direction right now. Uh, we are both focused and committed to improving our customer relations, the experience, the overall the ease of use. Um, and we've spent a lot of money to try to do this. As you know, websites, technology, it is not cheap. It's not easy. So we just launched a new website, and although there's a lot of challenges with it, this platform will give us the ability to make it easier for shipping internationally, domestic, and just making it more convenient for customers. And I think as any business going forward, retail is very difficult to survive on its own. I think e-commerce has kind of taken the world by storm, and now people are used to ordering online and having things come to their home, and
Yeah.
kind of not going out shopping anymore. We have a retail location still, and we ship out orders a town away or two towns away, and I see the orders go to the house. So it's just amazing. People are now wired differently. So
Yeah.
so both of us have really seen that and want to take advantage of it, and kind of accommodate everyone who wants that, as well as continue with our old traditions, whether it be retail or taking a phone order. So there's a lot of different aspects, and we're doing our best to, I guess, balance both sides, and it's challenging. It really is, the e-commerce sector, and I believe that's why you don't see many hobby stores have great websites or offer international shipping, because it is complicated, and it takes a lot of time and investment in order to get it right.
Yeah.
Ya,
Yeah, I think so, sorry.
deja traducir porque fue mucho. Bueno, platicó un poco que con su primo Anthony, los dos llevan la relación La Vanguardia. Sobre todo estábamos resaltando la importancia del shipping a nivel internacional, que prácticamente ellos se han enfocado en estas mejoras, en crear una nueva web. Por eso, y estaba al final comentando que por eso muy pocas tiendas tienen un buen sistema de internet que sea amigable, que sea más fácil. También estuvo comentando que al principio ellos piensan que el mantenerse, pues yo creo la innovación, por ahí en los negocios dicen que lo único constante es el cambio, y tratando de resumir lo que dijo Ken, creo que su primo y él, Anthony, su primo, están haciendo esta evolución, ¿no? ¿Cómo piensas, Martín? ¿Qué
Sí,
más
sí,
tienes de eso?
mira, yo le quería continuar de la pregunta porque obviamente yo creo que hay con el shipping hay dos cosas que una cosa es para la gente que vive en los Estados Unidos y otra cosa nosotros los que vivimos afuera de los Estados Unidos.
Y ahorita lo tocamos, tengo un slide preparado, ahorita le voy a poner porque eso
Pero, o sea, lo quiero enganchar con el sentido de
sí.
que él habló de por qué la gente elige comprar a 3 cuadras o de la ciudad y no ir a comprar. Probablemente es un factor de tiempo, pero es lo que le quiero enganchar, es el momento perfecto para hacerle esta pregunta. Ken, I was listening what you say about shipping. Obviously, there is a big difference for people living in outside the US and, the free shipping, for example. People have free shipping advantage, and obviously today we are super busy. We don't have time to go to the shop. There are a lot of reviews on internet, so you can see the model, so you don't need to go to the store and check it because already somebody did it for you. Right. So for us, people living internationally, like I say, our biggest problem is the shipping. People living in Australia, we have now the problem with the tax. That's another question I would like to ask you at the end. Yeah. Trainworld takes that tax in Australia when we have free tax until 1,000 Australian dollars. So that's another thing to discuss because I'm a customer, so that's hurt me. Yeah. But I was asking why the Trainworld, let's say, if for you costs, let's say, $5, $10 to ship inside the United States, why you don't offer that discount to people living internationally? Like I say, for me, a parcel will cost $80. Why you don't take those $10 out and give me that little advantage? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you, and I'm sure you're listed on our email sales, but we do offer email sales, and whenever we do a free shipping for domestic, we do offer let's say $20 off international orders over a certain amount. So you do get a discount as well. I
Excellent.
wish I could offer free shipping to international, but between UPS, the post office, they keep on raising our rates every year, and
Yeah.
international shipping is a lot of money now.
Oh,
And
yes.
it is very expensive, and we can't seem to get a grasp and control
Yeah.
why these shipping companies, because it's not us, we have passed along our the savings, but it just keeps on every year, whether it be UPS, post office, and actually DHL doesn't really do much in the US anymore, which is interesting. But so it's tough. I, uh, I guess along with the Australian GST. So there's a lot of countries now that have been sending letters to American businesses.
Yes, correct.
And unfortunately, they want us to collect money on their government's behalf.
Yes. Yeah.
So
That's impossible.
it's very difficult. I'm not sure if you want to catch up.
Ya,
Yeah,
dile,
no,
si quieres.
¿Traducís vos, Eduardo?
Sí, no, tú vas, adelante.
Ok. No, yo el tema de la pregunta era por qué, obviamente pagamos más correo porque el shipping internacional es mucho más caro y obviamente sería una locura pedirle a un shop o Trainworld que nos haga un free shipping, es imposible, lo sabemos. Entonces la idea era si ellos hacen un descuento con lo que le descuentan a los clientes domésticos. Y sí, Trainworld lo hace, eso es muy bueno. Y también el otro punto de discusión, que es que los gobiernos de ciertos países le están pidiendo a las tiendas hacer la colección de taxis o de impuestos. Cuando uno compra, te recargan un 10% extra y esa plata obviamente Trainworld se la manda, en mi caso, al gobierno de Australia. Lo interesante del tema es que no todo el mundo hace eso, y lo interesante es que el gobierno de Australia, en este caso, ofrece 10% free ante $1,000, pero lo obliga a Trainworld a cobrártelo de todas maneras. Es una cosa, es una locura. Y obviamente el otro punto que decía Ken es que obviamente el shipping cada día está más caro, es una realidad, lo sabemos, y ellos hacen lo mejor que pueden, pero bueno, obviamente hay un límite.
Yeah.
Sí. Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just to keep on going with the taxes, it is unfortunate because a lot of people before weren't, taxed with the extra GST. But I think a lot of these governments now, and it's not just Australia or America, it's a lot of these world organizations that they just want a piece of the pie.
Yes.
And they're making it very difficult on businesses to collect that. And that's part of the new reason why we needed to improve our website, because collecting, accounting for the money, paying the, Australia, the UK, it's very difficult. And I'm afraid that a lot of the smaller businesses, if they don't keep up with the technology and the investment, it's near impossible to have all your records, and to then now you have to hire a financial officer just collecting and receiving and paying online. So it's very difficult. And I wish, Martin, if you have someone over there could stop collecting, that would be great.
Well, Ken, the funny thing, and this is you're doing the right thing, okay? You're following what the Australian government is asking you.
Right.
But there are many businesses like you, they don't do that. And the other thing is, when you receive the parcel here, like I say, if under the $1,000,
right,
they don't charge anything. So that's, I can see a problem from Trainworld, like you're doing the right thing, and that's unfair for you, because like I say, for me to buy, why I will buy for you if I can buy the other shop? So I can understand.
100%. And that's also happening in the States as well. So a lot of these in America, the states are collecting taxes now. And so certain companies, they're enforcing this and sending out letters. And some companies, if you only do one shipment or two shipments to the country, they can't keep track. So
Yeah.
it's an unfair advantage if
Yeah.
you do keep up, and so it's tough. It's
Yeah.
unfortunately, uh, if we get a letter, we can't not listen, and uh, I don't want to mess around with Australia.
Not
So
now.
yeah.
Let me
Sure,
translate to continue.
sure.
Dándole seguimiento, quien estaba mencionando que muchos países están exigiendo a empresas americanas que ellos cobren los impuestos del país, ya sea Australia o algún país de Latinoamérica, y que después se lo manden, pues, me imagino, a tesorería. Algo que es realmente irreal, algo que me trae a mí la mente los 70s, cuando eran épocas cerradas, cuando en México teníamos que traer cosas por debajo de la mesa, que en México le llamamos fayuca. No sé si, ya luego les explicaré qué significa fayuca, pero los 70s eran economías cerradas. La
Yeah.
idea de un libre comercio, pues no es lo que está pasando. O sea, eh, Ken menciona que por eso la importancia de tener un website nuevo, ágil, diferente, que que afronte todos estos desafíos. Y pues bueno, al final estamos hablando de cuenta que no es justo, ¿no? O sea,
No es
uno
justo.
como consumidor, o sea, todo que estás gastando y luego tengas que pagar doble o en algunos casos triple, es muy complicado. Digo, en el caso de Australia, el shipping, ni quiero saber cuánto es. ¿Cuál es el mínimo de shipping nada más para saber Australia? Para que no
No,
se
no,
espanten los de México. En
no.
México, el mínimo de shipping son $50 promedio. Y
Sí.
pues ya, lo sufrimos, pero un poquito de comercial, incluso comprando en Estados Unidos, pagando shipping y pagando impuestos, es más barato que muchas veces conseguirlo en México. Entonces, sigue siendo la mejor opción comprar en
Sí.
línea. Y oye, traigo aquí tres slides que quiero compartir para que son preguntas técnicas. Hace rato le preguntaba a Ken que si
Ujú.
le parecía bien. Me dijo que sí, porque hay mucha gente que tiene duda. Digo, hay mucha gente que nos escucha que compra y ya sabe y perfecto y PayPal y todo, pero hay
Sí.
muchos que le decía que o no tienen tarjeta o no saben cómo pagar y de hecho ahorita por ahí están haciendo la pregunta de PayPal.
Yeah, something like PayPal. Yeah.
Entonces, déjame poner son 3 slides y ahorita vamos a continuar con otras cosas. Déjame, ya ves que aquí tenemos que hacerlo manual todo, no tenemos productor. Entonces, déjame ponerle esto. A ver, creo que la primera, creo que ya la ven, Martín, me dices,
Sí.
porque lo veo. Ahí está. La primera es la nueva imagen, que es
Mm.
lo que ya platicamos. Yo honestamente, para los que me conocen, antes compraba en otra tienda, porque se me hacía más fácil y más amigable el sitio de internet. Con el nuevo sistema, la verdad, me ha gustado más y ya por ahí tengo unos pre-order que estoy subiendo, que se me hace más fácil. Eh, Aquí había unas cosas que yo te las vamos a confirmar a Ken. Con esta nueva página, tú tienes que crear otra cuenta nueva. O sea, la
Sí.
cuenta vieja ya no te sirve. Entonces,
Correcto.
nada más para cerrar este tema con Ken, le vamos a preguntar de cómo se inspiraron un poco en este diseño, por qué lo cambiaron. Y bueno, yo le digo, pues yo la verdad, a mí este diseño me gusta más porque antes la veía y en lo personal se me hacía muy cargada y me perdía. Entonces creo que este diseño es más sencillo. Okay, we just talked that this is the new website, and that I like it this very much because the old one, personally, I feel that there were a lot of information, and sometimes I feel lost in when I was looking in different menus. But the new image is more clear, and everything is more friendly user. And we were talking about the importance of the new technology, about how do you connect with the customers. And the question is, how do you agree with this final product? It was like a brainstorming, a focus, or you just simply say, oh, I want to do this and pop up.
Yes. So we're still working on a lot of things, and that's what's I guess keeps this exciting and going, because there's many aspects that we're gonna build upon. And I believe someone had a question on PayPal, and this new website hopefully should give us the option to accept PayPal for in-stock orders in the future.
In the future.
Yeah, one problem with us though, because we accept pre-orders, PayPal does not accept pre-orders. So that's kind of the challenge, but we have a workaround that hopefully we will launch in the next couple of months. So this website, we're still working on. We're making a lot of adjustments, but basically the top of the menu is the key stuff that people want to shop by. But the filtering, the use will keep on improving. And our team, my whole family, we keep on wanting to improve and spend more money to make it easier for the whole train community. So I think this platform will allow us to do this, to be even bigger and better, and make it more friendly for all of the, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, or there could be some things that we can work on, but we are working on it, and we're able to make those adjustments, which is the most important part, I believe.
Okay. ¿Te traduces, Martín?
Sí. Obviamente el trabajo del website está en movimiento, o sea, todavía no terminaron, esto es el principio. También contestó sobre PayPal, están viendo cómo poner PayPal muy pronto, en el futuro cercano. El problema con PayPal es que PayPal no acepta que uno haga reserva o pre-orders. En este momento PayPal te exige como solamente productos en stock, porque el tema de la, porque uno puede reclamarle a PayPal después de cierto tiempo que no recibió el producto, y eso complica. Pero bueno, obviamente están en desarrollo, y la intención de Trainworld es hacerlo lo más amigable. Le voy a decir algo, Eduardo.
Sí,
hacer un website en 2 lenguajes, como se hace, veo en algunos nuevos modernos. Quizás esa es una idea, si él puede incorporar el español para la gente. Ken, this is just maybe an idea or little feedback from me. Any chance you, in the near future, you can build that website in 2 languages, for example, so people from Latin America can buy and make it easy for them? Is that a possibility?
So we actually, I thought we did. We did have a translate icon on our website, and it should be there, and it's not.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm glad you brought that to our attention, because it should be there. That's a good question.
Yeah, there are a few. There are a few when you're in the website. I saw it in other shops. Like I say, you have the option to select your country, and also you get the translation on, and also the conversion of the money. So
also in the news, when you see CNN, ABC, or Fox, or European, they say English, or Spanish, or Dutch. They have the option.
Yeah, but there is one, like I say, even you have the currency conversion too. So you see the prices in your local money or currency.
Yeah, the translation actually should have been on it. And I will double check that and make sure we update it. The currency, we were working on and trying to find an extension to give an estimate.
Tengo abierto aquí, y sí viene el cambio a español, ya lo encontré. Hasta arriba, no sé por qué. Sí vienen los idiomas. De hecho, viene un montón, chino, africano, todo eso, y sí lo estoy viendo. Hasta arriba, para todos los que tengan a Trainworld, ahorita lo voy a poner. Creo que ahorita comparto esto, porque creo que sí es importante. La gente que no habla español, inglés, perdón. Déjame lo pongo, déjame compartir.
This was Ken was without testing, just putting that that question to help the people. Like I said, it's no bad intention on this one, just to put it make.
I actually appreciate it, because these are things that need to be updated and tweaked, and with this new rollout, we changed all of our process. So it was a lot. It was not just Oh, here you go.
Yeah, that's in
Okay.
Spanish.
It's working now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so I actually missed it. There you go. It was hiding in the blue.
yeah,
I said so. That bar right there, you could change the
idiom.
translation,
Yeah.
but the currency is a good point that I'll make sure that we definitely update for sure.
Bueno,
Perfect.
esto es importante para todos los que nos escuchan. Hasta arriba hay un icono donde tú puedes cambiar el idioma. Vienen muchísimos, prácticamente todos los importantes. Solamente queda pendiente la parte del tipo de pago, que solamente creo está en dólares, no está en monedas locales,
Correct.
pero sí ya está ahí. Entonces, déjame
Very,
regresar
very good.
a lo
Yeah,
que te
it's
decía.
very nice, kind like I say, to see this new design. I think your current or the website you had before was the same from 2006 when I did my first order. So I
Yes,
think
yes,
it was the same.
yes.
So,
Yeah, and I think this website will let us allow to make a lot of future changes, and we're excited. Unfortunately, the world is moving very fast, and
yes,
every year there's a new change. And Martin, like Australia is actually our top international country that we ship to.
Ah,
Believe it or not.
wow.
Yes. And you guys have a lot of people into G scale
yeah,
in Australia. So
yes.
it's a huge, important country to us. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why your country sent us some letters.
That's it.
but but we need to make these adjustments and changes. So it's always good to speak to the customers sometimes. So I always try to answer the feedback when I do get it, and some of them we can adjust and fix, and I always take it to heart. And that's the great part of being in this hobby. We could
Yeah,
keep on
yes.
building and tweaking. So
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
and it is very important, like you listen to and you give this opportunity to talk, because as a customer is to have this chance is very important. Let's say for everyone.
Right.
I can, let's say, after the show, because this is more based to Mexico or Latin American people. Let's say I can give you a few feedback from Australia customers, like we love. So, but anyway, that's a different conversation.
Right.
La siguiente pregunta que quiero hacer va enfocada a una de las dudas que has traído mucho a través del tiempo. Cuando tú te registras, pones una dirección para tu factura, una dirección para tu shipping, y tu tarjeta de crédito pues, trae otra dirección. Ahorita le voy a preguntar a Ken si tienen que ser exactamente las mismas o puede haber diferencias. Porque mucha gente dice, oye, es que yo no tengo tarjeta. Entonces, alguien puso una tarjeta con una dirección, pero la dirección de envío es otra.
All right.
Y me dicen, oye, me bloquearon la cuenta o no sirvió. Para todo esto hay una razón. Ken, previamente platicamos un poco. Y ahorita lo que queremos que nos aclare es cómo es esto. O sea, tiene que ser la misma dirección en los tres casos que están viendo en pantalla o puede ser diferente. Ken,
Ah,
adelante, perdón, Martín, ¿sí?
No, y te digo que a mí me pasó, agregando ese caso, yo iba a viajar a los Estados Unidos y quería enviar las cosas a la casa de mi hermano y no pude. O sea, también le puedo comentar eso, pero
Sí,
pregúntale.
yo quiero lo mismo con un pre-order que tengo, pero bueno. Ken, I believe that we talk about the address that for security reasons, you told me that it should be the same with the billing, shipping, and payment. Is this correct, or could you explain us?
Yeah, so for a first time order, if you're international, we hope and we would like the first time order to have the billing and shipping address the same. The reason for this, unfortunately there's a lot of fraud internationally, and if the billing and shipping address is not the same, the credit card company will not reimburse or give the I guess the e-commerce company anything. So if we do ship, let's say, $1,000 train for a first time order and the billing and shipping is different, they could say they never got it, or it's a phony credit card, and we're kind of out that money. So I think that's Eduardo and Martin, you could speak there. There's not so many companies that ship international.
Correcto.
So there's a few specialty, that try to ship all over the world and kind of have gotten a routine. Because of this fraud, unfortunately, it makes it more difficult for certain people who truly are interested and want the product, a little harder. But that's kind of why we ask for the first time around. If once we build a reputation and you're a great customer like Eduardo or Martin, you could change your billing and shipping if you need it shipped to a different address. But for the first time around, we generally prefer if it's
Okay.
the same until we build a reputation and it's a trust on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
Let
And
me translate because this is very
sure,
important.
yeah,
Para todas las personas que van a comprar por primera vez o empiezan a comprar, prácticamente lo que Kay nos comenta es por seguridad. Si la dirección de factura y de envío son diferentes, cuando llega a haber un fraude de que enviaron un tren de $1,000 y el cliente puede decir que no lo recibí, la tarjeta no responde porque son diferentes direcciones. Lo que nos dice que si eres de las primeras veces que vas a comprar en la tienda, tiene que ser igual tu factura y tu envío. Una vez que ya tengas una relación, que haya un historial de compra, dice que puedes empezar a hacer solicitudes de cambio, que tu dirección a lo mejor de factura está en Argentina, o en Colombia o en Chile, pero te lo envían a un P.O. Box de Estados Unidos, ¿no? Pero eso
Correcto.
es con tiempo y ya una vez que tengan más experiencia, ¿no?
Correcto. Buenísimo.
We already talked about PayPal, that, well, right now you don't accept. But what about cash? Do you accept cash? Le estoy preguntando que, bueno, de PayPal, que ahorita todavía no, que en un futuro. Le estoy hablando de efectivo. Well, obviously, I mean cash for the internet, not for Trainland.
yes.
I believe there's some application called UPay that gives you a code, and then you go to the 7-Eleven and you pay in cash and you receive the wire. Is that possible for you? Are you?
Well, we do accept U.S. money orders, so or checks. So if they do send it that way, I'm not sure about that specific app or payment method, but we do accept U.S. money orders. If you have a different billing and shipping and want to send a U.S. money order, then we know it's valid. So we
Okay.
do accept that. Yes.
Buenísimo.
Le pregunté del efectivo, que mucha gente nos ha preguntado que no tienen tarjeta de crédito. Dice que de momento ellos aceptan money orders o cheques y los envían. Y por ahí hay una herramienta que, de hecho, creo que son los dueños de Open English o los socios. Se llama más bien PayU. Algunos lo usan en Mercado Libre, donde tú compras y te llega un QR y vas y lo pagas al 7-Eleven, al Oxxo o a la tienda que tengas. Entonces, le voy a mandar luego aquí el link para que observe todo eso y, pues bueno, puede ser una opción. Y de aquí, mucha gente me ha preguntado si los pre-order tienen costos. Martín, tú y yo sabemos la respuesta,
Sí.
pero realmente es hacerle la pregunta a quién y decir qué se necesita para hacer un pre-order, porque mucha gente dice, oye, ¿cómo hago un pre-order? Me cuesta que todo esto. Finally, pre-order. Many people ask, how much do I pay for the pre-order? Do I need to pay it right now? How does it work? I just said that Martina and I were used to use pre-order, but could you explain a little how simple is to make a pre-order?
Sure. So the greatest asset for Trainworld, and a big reason why a lot of people shop with us, is because when they see an announcement and they see the train and they the manufacturer wants to highlight it, people get excited. They want to make sure that they receive that train, because a lot of times the train may sell out. It's hard to get a hold of. So with the Trainworld pre-orders, you can order online at $0. So we don't charge you at the time of the pre-order. And then when the item comes in, then we will charge you the amount. So it's at time of shipment, because I think, and some other companies, may do it differently, but it wouldn't be fair to the consumer if we charged you, the full amount, and you had to wait 2-3 years sometimes to
Yeah.
receive that model. So we don't take any money. We actually ship as when we get the item in and your item is reserved, we ship it out. Um, we're actually one of the only industries in the world that does this method. And this was a big issue with our website and trying to figure out how to accept pre-orders with $0 down. And it seems simple and basic, but because we're a very unique industry, it has been very challenging to accept pre-orders on the website, and that's another reason why you don't see a lot of other companies kind of accept pre-orders, or they may now accept it, but they don't take your credit card information, and then if you're away or you're not looking at your emails every day, you may have a chance to miss out. So
yeah, and also there is a risk for you because could be a cancellation. Let's say you do the order. Obviously, in trains, many people want the product. I don't think many people will cancel, but there is a risk for your business because you can put a pre-order for 1,000 locomotives and then maybe only 500 pay, and that put you in a bad position. So
yes.
It's very cautious.
Yes, there are times where people cancel. So a store is taking a chance, but at the end of the day, it's about trust and a relationship. And most people, if it's reasonable, they usually give it a reason and is fine. It's no issue. A lot of people, maybe one year they run into a hard issue or they can't afford that. So it happens from time to time, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's
Let
good.
me translate. Al final de cuentas, pre-order es creo que la clave que estaba comentando Ken, que es uno de los éxitos de la tienda. Ellos no te cobran en el momento, o sea, ellos realmente te van a cobrar hasta que llegue el producto a la tienda y lo envíen, que a veces es un año o dos, que eso ha sido un gran reto para ellos, porque ellos dice que se pareciera muy sencillo, pero tecnológicamente diseñar el website, que para esto es importante, necesitas una tarjeta de crédito, la pones como respaldo y tomas tu pre-order, pero no te carga nada, se queda ahí. De hecho, ahí tengo una cuenta en pre-order, está en cero, pero en el momento que les llegue, en ese momento lo envían y es cuando te cobran. Y dice que obviamente ellos corren el riesgo, que pues, en un año pasan muchas cosas, y últimamente lo sabemos, y pues muchas veces hay cancelaciones, entonces ellos piden a lo mejor 100 o 1000 máquinas y al final nada más venden 500, entonces dicen que ellos tienen que correr con todo esto. No sé si me faltó algo más, Martín.
No, dijiste todo y le quiero preguntar, salir un poco ya de la parte dura del negocio. Antes de eso lo hablamos.
Ya lo vimos, lo voy a quitar, pues ya lo tocamos.
Le quiero hablar un poco del tema de COVID y lo que hicieron ellos con las fábricas y los shows en vivo, para ir ablandando un poco y pasar a la parte más amena.
Perfecto.
Ken, just we start shipping out of business. We pass we getting out of the mat of the like I said,
technological stuff.
You survive our hard questions.
The hot seat.
Like I said, it's good for us to know your side too, because it's fair, like I say, we have our right, but you have your right too. And we, like I say, trust. That's another word we can say. Family, trust, all go together. So it makes sense to me.
And Martin, you also mentioned the point, like the reasons. And I appreciate you guys having me on because a lot of people don't know the reason why we may have to charge GST now.
Yes.
The other day, someone emailed us on Twitter about UK now.
Yeah.
And Eduardo, I was talking to you as well. And, they also changed their rules. So, unfortunately, they are implementing it on certain companies, I guess more. So I appreciate you having me on, and something like that may at least make it seem like we're not doing it on purpose.
No, no,
So that's
of
good.
course. And I got to be honest, I made you. You started I did that too, but that's fine. You know, you explained to me, and that's fine. If
Yeah.
part of the business. But anyway, let's go do more nice stuff. One thing I want to always say to you, especially personally, now I have the chance. What Trainworld did during COVID-19, those shows where you put all the companies together to discuss trends and invite people and keep us alive in a way.
Right.
That's really we really appreciate it. And my question for you, like I said, yes, Paris is a big thanks for that. But what a work you did, really! How you put everyone together for 1-2 hours, and it was beautiful, really, to see. What tell us about that experience, please.
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate it. Because of COVID, a lot of things changed. And unfortunately, with retail, it was very difficult. Our stores were closed for a long time, retail-wise, but people still wanted to learn about trains, play with trains. They were at home, so now people had a little more time for trains. So the interest was there, and fortunately, Trainworld is a little more technological savvy than other locations or stores. So we were able to put on a couple of shows, and just one after another, people from all over the world attended, watched, learned, and all the manufacturers were in awe, excited. Some of these shows had well over 1,000 at one time throughout the whole show. It was unbelievable on Facebook Live. So gigantic numbers for the train industry. And a lot of these manufacturers actually started to begin to see that and wanted to participate more, come on the shows, and also now do it themselves. And so it's a really good feeling, and nice to share trains with the world. And I think even just with one show, and now you see your show as well, this YouTube show will be broadcasting across the whole world. Everyone can see this, and so it's the industry has definitely changed, and it's a great thing for the hobby. Whether it's my show or a competitor or your show, it's very good and healthy for the model train industry. A lot of manufacturers a couple of years ago were saying model trains, it's a dying hobby, but it's not. We just had to reinvent ourselves. And what both of you guys are doing is amazing. And I appreciate all your efforts, because what you guys are doing is spreading the word of model trains, why it's such a great hobby, how to if you're in Mexico or Australia, how to purchase or make it easier for the buyer. Or I saw you had some other manufacturers on your episode, just teaching them about the manufacturers. So the internet has just been amazing to get the word out about model trains. So
Very nice.
¿Traduces la mitad?
Bueno, sí, nada, la pregunta que yo le hacía es, Trainworld hizo un papel muy importante cuando tuvimos la pandemia, y especialmente Ken organizó videos con las fábricas de los trenes, puso a todos juntos para hablar de trenes y mantener el hobby vivo, porque obviamente a los negocios como él los afectó la pandemia, como a todo el mundo. Y él dijo una palabra clave, la industria del hobby se reinventó. Y creo que fue muy, muy bueno el cambio, porque usó Internet para transmitir a todo el mundo lo que hoy en día, y él destacó, y agradezco sus palabras, que lo que hacemos nosotros es desparramar el hobby por todo el planeta. Es muy bueno, y creo que esto es una de las buenas partes de Internet.
Sí, realmente hubo un cambio muy fuerte. Salió también por ahí la NMRX, que hacen, pero ya también se quedaron mensualmente, hacen sus clínicas y pues bueno, tratar de buscar otra forma. Desgraciadamente, pues, por la situación que vivimos, pero el punto importante creo que es la tecnología,
Mm,
la habilidad de adaptarse
sí,
a un nuevo mundo. Creo que Trainworld va a la vanguardia. Yo me acuerdo que alguna vez me uní a los primeros que hicieron en Instagram con un software diferente era simplemente compartir tu layout y con tu
sí, sí, sí.
celular, dices, ay, mira, esta es mi maqueta, pero todo en Instagram. Después ya cambiaron a un software más
Mm,
sofisticado y pues bueno, el día de hoy estamos aquí y la verdad algo muy interesante. Oye, Martín, ahorita por aquí alguien hizo una pregunta que normalmente
sí,
hacemos al principio y se nos olvidó porque ya nos pasamos a la parte técnica y ya como dices, estamos en la parte más amena. Entonces,
sí,
te voy a robar aquí un minuto para decirle de cuál es su escala y su esquema
sí,
favorito, porque digo, tienes tantas.
por supuesto, pero esa va siempre, de
Sí, sí, ya
cajón. Esa
aquí lo teníamos, pero nos fuimos directo al shipping y taxis y otras
y
cosas.
bueno, obviamente,
Sí.
era más importante.
Así es. Ken, we usually have a question for our guest. Uh, I believe this is going to be really difficult for you, but what is your favorite scheme and what is your favorite scale? Because I mean, you have everything. You just turn to the left and turn to the right, and you have everything that you want. But what is the scheme that you really like?
So I guess I have to go with what sells the best.
Ah,
Okay,
that's a good
good
answer.
one.
¿Qué es lo que más se vende? Esa es la respuesta. A ver. Okay, let's see.
So right now, HO scale is probably all year round is the biggest seller. Christmas time though, O scale.
Mm,
But HO scale right now is all year round, very big, popular, and Union Pacific
Yeah.
big boys.
Big boys?
Um,
Really,
big
really
boys.
expensive.
Yes, yes.
in your face, Eduardo.
Yes.
Sí.
And people all over the world, yes, Union Pacific, the big boys are very popular.
Let me say this in Spanish because this is shocking.
Sure.
No, it's not
Obvio,
shocking, it's the truth.
ya, es
It's not
Spanish Boy y
shocking.
Union Pacific. Lo que más se vende es HO, que eso ya lo sabíamos, pero lo que sí me llama mucho la atención es que las Big Boy, y lo digo porque, pues, bueno, para los latinoamericanos la economía es un problema como siempre, y las Big Boy pues son bastante complicadas en cuanto a dólares, pero dice que es lo que más se vende. Entonces dije,
Sí.
déjame interrumpir porque tengo que decir eso en español. Union Pacific, HO y Big Boy es el top. Okay,
Well,
it was like a shock, oh, Big Boy.
well, Ken, my first order in 2006 through the website was a precision craft big boy from your
There you
store.
go. Wow.
When it arrived, I think I'm going to say it was my fault. I didn't plug it very good, and one of the
Oh
little
no.
wires got out, and I didn't have skills to fix it on time. So I sent it back to you.
Okay.
I paid that postage, but you paid the
That's
return
good.
postage, so I got it back. So yes, big boy. And this is true story. So.
Well, so I should have picked a different engine.
Yeah, but it's a true. It's a
Yeah.
true. And like I
Yeah.
say, that's the other thing. That's the two faces of the coin. Like I say, yes,
Right.
I receive with a problem, but then you fix it. So
Yeah.
that's good. You know,
Yeah.
at the end, and we're talking 15 years ago. So
Right.
I have memory.
Yeah. But any company, whoever makes a big boy, it sells out so quickly.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And Eduardo, Ferromax is very popular, and it just every year we keep on selling more and more. And actually, I on our back order report the last month, Athern is coming out with some.
With two new schemes. Like in Mexico, we
Yes.
call Coca-Cola scheme because it's great and red, and also in Mexico we call pitufas because they are blue. Because
Ah,
Smurf is like a cartoon. In Spanish, Smurf is pitufos. So in Mexico, that blue engines, I believe Atron is a EMD SD40.
right.
They are in Mexico we call pitufas, but they are the new release from Atron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the caboose, they're making a caboose for
Yeah,
Roundhouse
from
as well.
Ferromex. That's my
Yeah,
pre-order.
yeah,
That's my
yes.
pre-order for
And
the next year.
I actually had to buy everything from Athern, so I wiped them out because it's so popular. It's anytime I see Urel, I see the surge in numbers recently, and I feel like in Mexico it's people maybe are seeing the trains more. And Eduardo, you could tell me, But I've definitely noticed over the past 5 to 6 years where we've had to really increase our numbers. And there was a run on Walther's mainline
Yeah.
rolling stock maybe like 3 years ago, where it was like impossible, and I was scrambling to get more. And we couldn't believe this road name, and because generally we sell more American trains, but it seems like Ferromex and
That's a quick answer. Union Pacific is part of Ferromex. They are the same. They are in the same group. I believe it's 5149. But Union Pacific and Ferromex are together. So many of the engines of Ferromex travel to United States, and also
mm, mm,
they are in I believe in California, in the border
right,
in
right,
Texas. You can see Ferromex engines in United States. That's
mm,
one of the reasons. And
okay.
the second reason, believe it or not, uh, the manufacturers, they don't build Mexican schemes. So when you have something new from Mexico, everybody's like crazy. Like I don't know, for example, the new Atron,
Right,
Skull Train just announced,
right,
and Bowser back in the time, Bowser,
yeah,
they have a NDM scheme. They are like very difficult to find.
yes.
So when the manufacturer invests in Mexican schemes, I believe that's a complete sellout.
And Eduardo buys all of them.
Well, I just put my pre-order, and then I start to cry because I don't have money to pay. Let me translate. Eh, Algo muy que me llamó mucho la atención y mucha felicidad, que decía que la Ferromex de los últimos años se está vendiendo el esquema de Ferromex y en sí que dice que tuvo que apartar todo de Atron, que empezó a ver, habló del Cabús que viene para el otro año, la Coca-Cola que contamos aquí, la Pitufa, y le estaba diciendo que, bueno, desde mi punto de vista hay dos razones. Union Pacific y Ferromex son parte del mismo de Grupo México. No me acuerdo ahí exactamente qué porcentaje, quién es mayoritario, ¿no? Pero como al ser de la misma empresa, pues de repente ves muchas máquinas de Ferromex en Estados Unidos, en Texas, en Denver, en la frontera principalmente. Entonces, no solamente los mexicanos quieren Ferromex, sino muchos americanos que ven esas máquinas diferentes en su país. Y la otra, muy pocas empresas americanas hacen, digo, ya no digamos mexicanos, o sea, como decías, argentinos o de otras
Claro.
marcas. Entonces, cuando alguien saca algo nuevo, Ferromex, nacionales de Argentina, pues se acaban porque son muy pocas.
Cuando rompen
Entonces,
el molde, cuando rompen
exacto,
hacen algo diferente, ahí hay que arriesgar y funciona.
así es.
Si me dejas, le voy a hacer mi
Sí, sí, sí.
pregunta de escala N,
La
como
escala,
siempre
sí.
respondiendo. Ken, I have a very special way of doing model trains. I call a dual layout. So I have HO scale and scale in the same layout. Is crazy, but it works for me. So I guess N scale is growing very fast too. And I can see because, when I miss a pre-order and now I miss a locomotive from Kato, the N scale UP powered by our people. that was hot price disappear and I couldn't get it. So how you see, like I say, obviously United States is very famous for big trains. Then let's say you say HO scale is the more popular now. How you see N scale into the future?
Yes. So N scale is definitely growing and growing bigger. Unfortunately, people need space for trains.
Yes.
And O scale started off in America, the biggest, train line and train scale. But now it seems like a lot of people really don't have the space for a big O scale layout, or they want to model more. And so in order to model more, sometimes you need more space.
Right.
So a lot of people who are, into HO or O scale are also dabbling into N scale now. And a big part of why N scale has been growing is because the quality, and now they also offer sound in their engines. So you could get, and the announcement of trains, the variety is there. So a lot of manufacturers are investing in a lot of tooling, reinvestment. So you see a lot of manufacturers pushing for N scale now. and the demand is there. Just recently, Kato announced the Amtrak P42,
Yes.
and they're pre-sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't get any more.
Yeah.
I have very few left, so it's crazy. And this is N scale, which years ago, you'd be lucky to sell a handful, and now it's just become a huge scale. And I'm assuming, either Australia, Mexico, in the States, it's all the same. We need room to play with trains, and both Eduardo and Martin, you could tell me otherwise, but when I traveled to the German Toy Fair show,
Yeah.
they actually explained to me that they don't do much O scale. It's really, Marklin, Trix, Pico, and it's just smaller spaces in, I guess, overseas. So
Yeah.
in order,
in Europe and Mexico is the same. I just told that we spoke with Jenny from UK,
Yeah.
and I remember that she told us that N skate is popular because obviously
Yeah.
the house are really expensive. They don't have this big basement like in United States, so
Well,
it's a new option.
before we translate, Ken, for example, what I do is when I want detail, I buy the locomotive in HO scale because I like the smoke, I like the details and everything. When I want to run long trains, I use N scale. So that's, you check my channel, so you have long trains, like container trains in scale, because I don't have the space, and it's the only way to fit it. But also I love, the details. So I go to HO scale, and that's the reason, I'm very, very hard for MTH closed last year or this year, because I used to love that kind of big locomotives, because I never had space for all scales. But the detail of HO scale with the, let's say, the driving of the N scale, so it's a good combination.
Well, that's one thing in N scale that, a manufacturer still needs to, I guess, master, is getting smoke out of an N scale steam engine.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Well, we're going into the batteries now, into the N scale, like the Kato, and now Broadway Limited is doing a small battery, so that's put the performance of the N scale much better. Like I say, I don't have any dramas in my layout like I used to have 4 years ago. So it is amazing.
Hay que traducir un poco. La pregunta de Martín sobre cómo ve Ken la escala N. Prácticamente va creciendo. Es algo de que él ve mucho cuando va al tren show de Alemania, que ve todas estas marcas, que empieza a crecer, que es más popular. Obviamente, cuando en Estados Unidos nació la escala O y que la usaron mucho, pero ya no hay tanto espacio como antes se tenía y pues mucha gente migra. Dice que la reina es HO, pero la escala N, como al final lo comenta Martín, o sea, cuando él quiere detalles, pues tiene una escala HO, pero cuando quiere correr trenes muy largos y que entren en un cuarto pequeño, pues tienes que irte a N. Entonces, Ken prácticamente está de acuerdo que es una escala que va en crecimiento, que se va mejorando. Se habló de la incorporación del sonido, que ya DCC Sound en N, que es algo muy bueno, y también de que, bueno, el siguiente paso sería el humo en las máquinas de vapor, y Martín, estabas comentando también un poco de bueno, las baterías, pero en español, bueno, no en español, sino para México las baterías son las de los carros, otras cosas, o las pilas, sino como los capacitores, porque hay diferentes marcas, pero bueno, esos son ya con Broadway, ¿no?
Broadway y Kato.
Ya los empiezan a traer.
Muy bueno, muy bueno.
Así es. Oye, llevamos 1 hora y cuarto, creo que los términos generales ya los hemos platicado. No sé, algún tema que se nos haya escapado para preguntarle.
No, podemos hablar, pero más que nada, si querés, ya le empiezo agradeciendo el tiempo y le invito a hacer una segunda parte de Trainworld, porque esto da para mucho más y bueno.
Sí, sobre todo por ahí alguien preguntó si venden trenes europeos. La verdad, nunca he visto. Ahorita le hacemos la pregunta y
bueno, pregúntale vos y después yo empiezo a cerrar. Dale.
Okay. Now, Ken, someone asked if you sell European trains or you are only focused on American trains?
So we do dabble here and there, depending on how well known the European train is. So if it's the Renfe or the ICE train, different trains around the world that are more known, we definitely will carry. If it's specific more of Markland three rail or Trix, it's that's a lot more specialized,
Yeah,
and it's actually not uh, that big of a seller for us, unfortunately.
yeah, it's
Um,
a different market.
yes, yes. So, but the specialty trains, we're able to cross sell those trains and actually offer it to our American market, where you know a lot of people do travel different places, whether it be Mexico or Australia or Germany. So sometimes different manufacturers will have offerings and of certain popular trains in that region, and we will offer those trains.
Ok. Le preguntaba de si los trenes europeos, en términos generales, dice que tienen algunos, que el ICE, o sea, trenes que sean, digamos, famosos y reconocidos. Marcas ya muy específicas de tres rieles, Marklin, Matrix, a lo mejor un Fleischmann Rocco, que no están tan enfocados a eso, prácticamente porque no tienen, o sea, el mercado americano no los compra. Son
Hay tiendas especializadas en modelos europeos en Estados Unidos que se dedican más a
Así es,
eso.
de hecho, le iba a comentar a la persona luego que nos mande un mensaje, le mandaremos el link, conozco un par, igual directamente como nos comentaron en Inglaterra, hay por ahí una tienda, Hornby, hay otros links que luego podemos
Sí,
poner,
sí,
pero
sí.
sí, ellos el foco, obviamente lo fuerte es lo americano.
Bueno, si querés, le empiezo a cerrar y de
Hay que
mi
decirle si
parte,
quiere, sí, que diga, dile, ya sabes, si quiere agregar algo más,
no
algo
le
que le
quiero
guste.
sacar mucho tiempo.
Así es.
Um, Ken, we are over the time, and let's say we appreciate it. I think we should do Train World 2022 with our show, because we have so many things we didn't talk about. Scenery, weathering, DCC controls, and many things, and really to have a shop. I call it a shop, a store, from the other side to give us. And I have a lot of questions. How you handle all this stuff. Many questions. So I really appreciate if you accept another interview in the near future. But thanks for me, really, and for all the people watching. Always when I talk with somebody, I say what I appreciate from your services. I say, look, I've been a customer 15 years without any issues. The best thing I bought from your store was the MTH or scale sidewise sets. I took advantage of your offer last year. I love them. I don't know why people don't buy those things. They're amazing. So thank you for the sidewise discounts.
Yes. Good. I'm glad.
But yeah, really, I really appreciate it. And also, always, we don't ask for money here. We don't ask for anything. We ask for you to share what we do here. And when you talk with any other company, like, I don't know, I put an example like Cato, we would like to share what they do, or Batman, or anyone they are interested to talk with us, and we spread the word, as you say, in Spanish. We appreciate your help on that if you want. But yes, big thanks, and it was a pleasure. And the other thing, I love it, your shows, when you show to go to the store and show your real life. That was fantastic too.
Thank you, Martin.
Also, let me see this first in Spanish and then in English.
Sure.
Siempre nos preguntan, ¿dónde puedo encontrar bueno, bonito y barato? En México le decimos las 3B, bueno, bonito y barato. Hace rato hice, obviamente, una búsqueda en la página de Trainworld, y que creen, encontré máquinas DSC desde $50.
Sí, hay buenas ofertas.
Hay muy buenas ofertas. Hagan su búsqueda bien. No me voy a meter a qué marcas, pero para que no sea comercial extra. Pero el punto es, no es necesario, o sea, no significa que comprar en una tienda de internet es carísimo. No. Hay ofertas desde $50 y muchas veces te quieren vender cosas usadas más caro que eso. Entonces, si quieren empezar, creo que vale la pena invertir. Háganlo en una tienda de confianza. La verdad es muy buen servicio. Chequen todo lo que pudimos platicar el día de hoy. Y desde $50, y vi DSC con sonido. So, Eso es algo muy importante y se lo quería agradecer a Ken. Lo voy a traducir y le voy a decir que, pues, que siempre nos preguntan eso y decirlo que ahorita honestamente pues, lo vimos y cualquiera lo puede ver en su página. Okay, we usually have the question, where can I buy cheap trains? and and I say that I did my research in your website and I found DCC trains with sound from $50 and more. And the point is, you don't have to buy secondhand trains in flea markets or with some stranger people. That if you have a store that with reputation, with customer service, with many people's behind that store, and my advice to everybody in Spanish is go to the train world, see, search the train that you're looking, and you can find something from $50. And if you want to spend a little more, I've also found from $80, $90 DCC sound. They are basic, but that's a good option. And we always make that recommendation. And I just want to say that this is a good example, and perhaps say thanks from everybody that you have this price, that you can find perhaps a big boy from almost $1,000, but you have $50 train accessible for everyone. So that's thank you for to have that.
Well, thank you very, very much, Eduardo and Martin, for having me on tonight. It was, I don't know, I love these things. I had an excellent time talking with you, and we could probably talk logistics and shipping for another 5 hours.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
so
big topic.
I'll take you up on 2022, and I'll take you up. I will pass this along to another manufacturer. So you just give me a name, and I'll try to make it happen. And also, we did share it on Instagram today, and I'll post the link on Facebook. And I really appreciate both of you for putting this together and making, I guess, the whole industry, giving more information to the people out there and making trains fun, making trains accessible, teaching people about trains, model trains. So it's really important that the industry has great advocates and sponsors like Eduardo and Martin. So if you're in the chat, please give them a thumbs up or a like and a great positive comment to Martin and Eduardo for putting this together, because they're doing this because they enjoy model trains, and they're not doing it for money, for they're doing it for the passion and because they truly love this hobby. So I really appreciate both of you for having me on tonight, and it means a lot. So I do appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thank you, Ken, for your kind words. Yeah, when we finish the live thing, I will give you my list.
I got a limited one.
I have one. The silly question. Always I have the silly question is, in the past I have the chance to meet Rod Stewart to discuss and talk about trains. I love him. So, what celebrities you have in your as customers? You should have a few. So you can name a few.
Rod Stewart did come into the Brooklyn store many years ago. Just recently, the Jason Biggs from American Pie. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie.
Yeah, unfortunately,
His kids wanted a train set, so he just came in over this past summer. Politicians. Who else? Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper. Estamos hablando de los gentes famosos que han ido, políticos, American Pie, politicians. I have another topic from another show. Remember a few years when President George Bush died, the 4141 engine, it was like the golden trophy, and I saw offers on eBay for $1,000, and everybody wanted to buy that engine. But that's from another topic. But that you said politicians, I remember that time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It seems like the train industry, it touches everyone, and whenever anyone comes into the store, it always starts with my father or my grandfather or my family had a train set around the tree, and or they had it in the basement, and they want to now start that hobby. So whether you're anyone who's famous, I'm sure they've had it in their lifetime, but it really is amazing. But a lot of the Sopranos, mafia members, football players, because we're in New York, a lot of football players from the Jets came by. It's amazing being located in New York. A
Yeah.
lot of
That's a
people.
great opportunity. That's a
Yeah.
great opportunity.
And I guess Frank Sinatra too, I guess, because he used to be a big one, and I watched video from his layout of when he have it.
Yeah,
So
he was very big into trains. I gotta ask, my grandfather has passed away, but I'm sure somehow he who
Yeah.
knows, maybe he
Yeah,
came
maybe he
by.
might.
But Tom Schneider,
Tom Snyder.
was came by and actually bought a train set, or competing with my grandfather on a big tin plate set. So
Yeah, I used to have a picture of, I think it was a boxer or somebody who bought a train. I can't remember now the name. In your website, there was a picture as a famous person buying a train from your store.
yeah, it's I don't know.
Many
There's
people,
a
many
lot.
people.
There's a lot.
Yeah, he was very, very one. Yeah, that's okay. But no, good. Okay, that's a silly
Claro,
question.
muy buen cierre. Le preguntamos de celebridades y hablamos de varios y políticos y futbolistas y toda la importancia, pero creo que una de las frases que nos vamos a quedar y compartimos, hay que hacer nuestro libro de frases antes que se nos olvide,
Yeah,
la
sí,
de el tren es acerca de la familia, entonces
sí.
es poner junto a la familia y Ken lo está haciendo con su primo, lo heredó de sus padres y de su abuelo. Entonces, pues bueno, es una nueva forma, ¿no?, de relacionarnos y espero seguirlo compartiendo. Y creo que sí, la historia de todos empieza, mi papá tenía, mi abuelo tenía o algo, y de ahí crece. Entonces, creo que pocos hobbies como este. Ken, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A todos, un abrazo. Nos estamos viendo y sigan pendientes de los shows, que hay gente importante que va a venir y tenemos muchos videos y tanto en los dos canales, bueno, 3 canales, porque tenemos el canal de, obviamente, Trainworld, el de Union Pacific Snowy Valley Division y el de Just for Fun Trains. Entonces, pues muchas gracias a todos y nos estamos viendo. Déjame terminar acá.